Hello and welcome to This Week in Property. I'm your host, Richard Swan, and that lovely, handsome gentleman on the other side of the screen, if you're watching the video version of the podcast, that is the CEO, the author of this incredible stuff, Mr. Simon Severino from Strategy Sprints, the Strategy Sprints Method. Now, have we got Severino right? Have we got pronunciations
Severino,
properly?
yeah.
Yes, thank you. That's good. Always want to do that. Now, let's cut to the chase here, Simon, because, by the way, welcome to the show. Thanks a million for giving us your time today.
Thank you for having me.
Now, I'm going to cut to the chase. Wait till you hear this, readers. Honest to goodness. You can grow your revenue, scale your business without sacrificing your whole personal life. Let's cut to the chase, Simon. This is a scam, isn't it? This is one of those internet scams. There's no way that could be possible.
That's what many people think in the beginning. That's too good to be true, right?
Too good to be true. It sounds far too good. But no, listen, we're going to jump into this because it's a fascinating method. It really is, absolutely. And it's a brilliant book that you do. You've got your own podcast. There's a whole ton of stuff that we're going to be chatting about. But before this, what was life like for Simon before coming up with this entire method of strategy sprints? Please tell us you were like us, just a normal human, struggling with things, struggling with business before you come up with this magic. Is that the case?
I'm in my pre-sprint life, I was a hippie kind of person. I studied philosophy and I wanted just to have fun and to do sports. I was a philosopher and triathlete and nothing else. I had nothing to do with economy or finances or business. I didn't care about business, and it was not relevant to me. And I didn't care about money, and I didn't know anything about economy.
Right.
That's Simon in his 20s.
And what happened to him? What on earth happened to that man?
You know what happened? You remember the 90s was this period where the big strategy consultancies were looking for different backgrounds. Mm-hmm. You only had to have the best grades in university and they would take you. You could have the best grades in sciences or even in human sciences, in philosophy, mm-hmm. and they would take you. And so that was my thing. I had the best grades in philosophy. I jumped in. And boom, 1 week later, I was in strategy projects for BMW, Boehringer Ingelheim, Coca-Cola, you name it. And I was in the thick of it and I loved it. I did fall in love with that process of, scaling businesses, mm-hmm. because it was exciting.
Yeah, you found your passion. You found your purpose in life. That's tremendous. It really is. And do you think is the philosophy still there? That whole interest, that background, whether it's the Stoics or Epictetus or whoever, do you feel as if it is part of your method and part of the things you try to teach?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. This is where I can now apply the skills. Because what I learned in philosophy, one main thing was that there is an eternal part and there is temporary stuff.
Right.
This is so important when you build a business as an entrepreneur, not to get distracted with the temporal stuff. That's going away. It's not even important. Mm-hmm. So for me, 95% in business is not even important. I just look at the 5%. We will discuss those 5%. Just the controllables. What is really in my control? The Stoics would love it, right? What's really in your control? Do that every day, forget the rest. That's basically how I run my agency, and that's how I'm helping double revenue in all agencies that we coach, mm-hmm. because we just look at those 5% that really matter. Mm-hmm. We call them the 3 habits: daily habit, weekly habit, monthly habit. Right. The rest, it doesn't really matter. So don't waste time on it. Don't waste money on it, especially mm-hmm. not in front of a recession. Yeah. And so we just focus on these 3 things. They are all organic. They cost nothing. And they work with every agency. Tremendous stuff. Now, this is This Week in Property, of course. And we have people, we have a lot of investors who
the property is their business. So they're a property investor, they have a property business, maybe it's a property trading business. But there's a lot of folks who, no, they already have their own businesses in whatever fields that they are. And it's just that they use their investment brain to then invest in property. So there are people, watching, listening to us just now who have their own completely non-property businesses that, they're running with. So it's going to be gold dust for them to listen to a lot of your wisdoms. How do you first approach dealing with a client? When you get in that door with them, and maybe they have read the book, maybe they've not read the book, and what's your first approach of guiding them forward?
So they approach us because they saw us on YouTube, saw a video or a podcast where they heard, oh, you can double revenue, you have my attention. Then they click something, they get a couple free trainings or emails, then they get on our calendar, and then my team walks them through what it is, this sprint, and who is it for, because it's only for B2B businesses in a specific range of their revenue. They need to do at least 35K per month. But if this applies, if it's B2B, it's over 35K per month right now, then they can double in 90 days. So then they would meet me and I do a demo with them, and I walk them through a so-called game plan. So the 12 weeks and exactly how they look like, because there is a very specific program that starts with, as you can imagine, clarifying who the ideal client is, then clarifying what they stand for. Because in our philosophy, you don't sell by pushing anything. People don't buy what you sell, they buy what you stand for. So again, the philosopher is here, right?
Yeah,
so we start in week 1, we work on positioning, clarifying what you stand for, clarifying who you want to work with, who the ideal client is, and clarifying what your offer is. And the offer will be a 10-to-1 ratio from value to what it costs. So for example, if you can help them save 300,000 in 6 months, then we will help you. The price will be 30K of your offer, because that's 1 to 10. And that's what we like. It's such a good offer that it's easy to sell. It will sell basically itself.
Right.
Or on the other side, if you can help them do 300,000 via property, then it's fine that you get 30K in our world. So we always work for this 10-to-1 ratio. We have many financial advisors, investment advisors that do the sprint. And so the first week is improving their offer, what they stand for, positioning, and offer. When we have improved the offer, we can now de-risk the decision for their clients. So we will help them create de-risking. You can do it via customer testimonials or via guarantees. Testimonials is, for example, when you click a button like here, and for the people watching, they will see Chanel. And Chanel is an entrepreneur, and she says before that she was working so much and was stressed out, but now she's generating revenue while she's sleeping. Or Anthony, who was doing very, very well, but he couldn't go on holidays because everything was dependent on him in his business. So he was not running the business was running him. Or Jaime, who with his agencies doubled revenue in 90 days. These are examples how you can de-risk, because if you can find those that have exactly the same size in industry as the client that you're talking to, that de-risks their decisions in that moment. Oh, it worked exactly in my industry, in my size, with my problem. Okay, it might work. So that's one part. The other is exit options. So what if it doesn't work? Can I exit after 1 month? Can I get half back? Can I get 1 month more of work? What is that de-risking possibility on that side? And then we move to week 2 and week 3 and week 4. And before I bore everybody with the whole process, basically next is optimizing sales, increasing the conversion rate by 25%, shortening the sales time from awareness to closing by 25%, and increasing the price by 25%. And if you remember in the positioning, we made it 10-to-1. So it will be easy to increase by 25%. Probably we will increase by more.
Wow.
And when you do these three things, when you increase these three things by 25%, your audience will know the compounding effect, because property people know compounding effect.
Yeah.
And so when you increase these three things, you actually increase overall revenue by 99%. And that's how you double.
Absolutely tremendous. It's amazing figures in a very, very surprising time frame as well. I think that's probably the thing that, you know, people find most remarkable. Wait a minute, 90 days? Is this actually going to be achievable? But as you say, you're focusing in on those key areas of leverage that is just going to bring an exponential return, which is just incredible. Has your philosopher brain found patterns? Have you found things that most businesses and business owners are doing wrong, for example? And that's where you're going to start?
Yes.
Yeah.
So right now, they're spending too much. Most have too much costs in marketing, in operations, mainly marketing and operations. Too many costs. So one thing that we help them do is turn these costs from fixed costs into variable costs. So when you have more clients, you want to spend more for the people who brought these clients, right? So it's fine to give to a marketing agency, to an SEO agency more, or a PR agency, whoever your vendors are. We help them recontract performance-based contracts. So when they bring in more work, they get paid from the profits. But when there is zero work, they also cost zero, because this is the most resilient way of creating an organism, an organization. When there is more work, there are more costs. When there is zero work, there's zero costs. That's resilient. And we want self-healing mechanisms in every system, self-correcting mechanisms. And this is a self-correcting mechanism. That PR agency can become very, very rich from the profits, and they will stay around very long if it works. But also after 2 months, they might quit because they are not bringing it. And that's also a self-correcting mechanism, and both is fine.
Now, that's funny use of language. I'm just picking up on some of the things you've said: organization, organism, self-correcting, self-healing, so on. You really see these things as living, breathing, fluid organisms. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Yeah.
I see. Look, I'm looking to the garden right now from my window. I look at the garden, a family, a garden. That's life. I don't think in lead funnels and whatever mechanical models. I see people and I see a garden. And how do you grow a garden? By bringing water every day and bringing some minerals every day. So that's a system, right? And that's a healthy way to grow life. And that's how I see a business. And also a garden has self-healing mechanism and self-correcting mechanisms. If if there is not enough water, you have to bring more water. If there is too much water, it will drain out.
Yeah.
So same thing we have to do with the cost structures. Now that we've covered the cost structures, we can move to the other problems. The next problem that I see, patterns, is they're doing too much. So they're doing many marketing activities, especially too much marketing. They spend too much time on social media, writing posts, etc.
Okay.
And getting likes. Who cares about likes? We care only about one thing: your sales pipeline, number of conversations right now. So the first thing that we install is a CRM, because many just use a spreadsheet, or not even a spreadsheet, to track the number of conversations that they have every week. This is so important. Whatever business you are in, first thing you need is a CRM on your phone.
Right.
It can be very cheap, $20 a month.
Yeah.
But it must be on your phone, and you must have 5 stages around your sales stages. For example, awareness, interest, contact made, offer sent, start date, scheduled. For example, just 5 stages.
Right.
But you want to fill it. Filling it is prospecting, and this is really important. And the rest is follow up every 3 days. And then after 3 weeks, you either sold something or it's a close lost. And you might pick it up later in 90 days. And But this is a cadence that we work with. So from week 3, we look directly at their pipeline. So in our weekly coaching, okay, show me pipeline. All right, this part is full. This is empty. Oh, why is this empty? Let's fill that.
Right.
Then in the next week, it's filled. And then we say, okay, which one has which probability of closing? What do you need next? Let's look at your sales material. What are you sending? Can we improve that? Which words are you using? Can we improve that? Can you record a call and we give you feedback?
So there's a whole coaching mechanism there. It's not just a case of here's the blueprint, on you go. You're actually going on the journey with them. You're testing and measuring and giving advice.
Yes, you need both. If you just give people templates, doesn't mean that they really use it or use it the correct way or use it continuously. So with the templates comes a one-to-one coaching. While they are using the templates, and we are looking over their shoulders and say, oh, wait a moment, this is supposed to be used like this. And do you see when you set the price, did you see what your body did? You said it costs $16,000. So are you confident in saying the price? Should we look at the price and at the packaging? Because you have to say the price and then do an Obama style 15 seconds silence.
Like it.
So let's rehearse that. Tell me the price. Tell me the price again. Tell me the price again. So this is real coaching. You need templates and blueprints, yes. But you need also a person on the other side who is in your corner, who rehearses things with you, somebody that you can quickly tag and say, hey, tomorrow I have the biggest pitch of my life. Please, can I rehearse it with you? Can I send you the deck before I send it?
Before it goes out there. People, when we ask business owners, what's your 2 biggest problems? They'll say it's the people I have to serve, my clients, and it's the people I have to work with, my team. Is that a fair assessment? Is it how they should be thinking? Should we try and change the mindset of how they approach it? Is it something you see a lot?
Totally, yes. And I feel them. I feel them.
You feel
because it's true, right? It's true. So if you are like an engineer, you have your ideal flow in mind and you back engineer everything and everything is perfect. But then all these people come in, right? The clients, and they want something else, etc. So yes, it is complicated. It's also complicated. Hiring is also complicated. So the sales part, this is what we can really simplify, streamline, and you will have so much less headache and more fun with that part, and you will even enjoy all the quirks of the people that you are working with. And also you will have we call it a filtering system where you filter out quicker the people that you don't want to work with. That's the ideal client process in week 1. So it's also important that you filter out people that you don't want to work with. It's pretty important. And
not to have any desperation around that. Oh no, I'm losing a client. Just remove that idea altogether.
I want to lose all the wrong clients because that makes space for all the right clients.
Are those possibly the weeds in the garden that you were talking about? If I use that analogy, is that what we're doing? We're getting rid of the weeds with those particular clients.
Yes, in the very beginning, I told you we work only with B2B teams that are doing above 35K per month. That's pretty specific. Right? Everybody else, and now hundreds of people listening here. Oh, I want to be coached by Simon, but I'm just making 18K. Don't even call me. Don't even call me. And it's fine, right? There are other people I can recommend. You can shoot me an email and I will recommend you somebody who is a good coach for you. But I am just a good coach for some people, for a very few. And this is important because those few people, they will get exactly what's built for them. And you cannot build something for everybody. You have to pick a very specific set of people that you are here to serve and to totally immerse yourself. Since 21 years, I'm serving only this kind of teams with only this offer. That's why it's good. And so, yes, in week 1, we help them identify who they are here to serve and totally concentrate on that and go deeper.
Right.
without losing revenue, but making that revenue quicker in by targeting the right people. And the right people, when they hear your offer, they go, oh my God, that's me. That's exactly what I need.
Yeah.
So that will be actually quicker.
Yes, exactly. It's easier, isn't it? It's a thing that's already been set. The connection is already there. You're dealing with the right person. And then on the other side of it, the people, because you've got some great sections within here about the whole hiring process, a system overview, hiring simplified, which I think is something a lot of people would like to hear. So how should we think of the people within our business, within our teams?
Yes. So that's why chapter 12 and chapter 13 of the book, Strategy Sprints, are just about hiring.
Yeah.
And you might wonder why 2 chapters, right?
Yeah.
Can you do it? Can't you do it in 1 chapter? Hiring is so complicated that even we systemizers, we couldn't make it super simple. It took me 2 chapters. The first chapter is what you do before you hire. You think
Right.
about the role, you write down the role expectations, what the role looks like when they rock it.
Mhm.
Then you go to our tool. It's a spreadsheet. It's called the job scorecard. You
Mhm.
type it in, and then you get the monthly reviews basically prepared and automated. So every month, and that's then the next chapter is, okay, how do you onboard them and make them quickly productive? So the first one is how you define the role, and then how you post the role on LinkedIn, etc. And the second chapter is, now you have 400 applicants. With how many do you talk? How do you conduct the interview? How do you pick them based on which criteria? And how do you onboard them quickly? And then the tools give you even, the job scorecard gives you even an automated monthly half an hour review, performance review, conversation
Uh-huh.
agenda based on exactly their expectations.
I like it. Yeah, 'cause I think that's something, a real key area a lot of business owners just let go. They think it's just getting the people inside. Oh, I've done it. I've hired another salesman. I've hired someone else. Right, okay, I can walk away and leave them just now. But we can't. We've got to I keep going back to this garden analogy that you started. We've got to keep tending that garden, don't we?
Yes, and it takes very, very long to find the right people.
Yeah.
And you have to be very quick in firing the wrong people.
Right.
So, and that's tough, but you will learn it, and it will get better. But it takes really long because you have to define. You will see in chapter 12, you define your values, what you stand for, what makes you unique as a team, and then you will gradually find the best fit. And sometimes you just don't know, but you're bringing in the wrong people, and so you
Yeah.
will realize after 3 months, after 6 months.
Right.
This also happens. Or
Yeah.
you have the right people, but they jump off because they have a better opportunity, and that is also part of the normal fluctuation.
Mhm.
And that makes, of course, hiring and keeping people complicated. But actually, right now, it was never as easy to hire right now. When I hire for a position as management consultant on LinkedIn,
Mhm.
2 days later, I have 400 applications with Harvard alumni, Harvard MIT alumni. In my world, that's
Yeah.
best of the best for the skills that we need. And 10 years ago, it was unthinkable that, a small company in a small town, Vienna, Austria, gets applications from MIT and from Stanford and from Harvard.
Yeah.
But it's happening right now because people can choose what they do and where they do it. It's remote anyways,
That's
so
right.
they can pick and choose.
Yeah, it's a totally different world. You're right. We've got to adapt to it. We've got to use all the advantages, such as, being able to have all those applicants come flooding in. Tremendous stuff. How long, Simon, did this take you? To get to this stage, you are where you are. You're having great success. You're helping so many businesses. Brilliant. But tell me about the blood, sweat, and tears. How long did it take for you, do you think, to refine this and the method, and maybe you moved about, oh, I'm going to teach this block first, and then I'm going to do this block next. What would you say it took you?
It took me almost 20 years to
Wow.
write the book because it was 6 months of typing.
Yeah.
But before typing, you have to experience it. You have to build a tool, then you have to use it in 3-4 different industries, and then it has to prove itself. And if it really works in different circumstances, industries, and team sizes, then it qualifies as an evergreen tool, something that will be eternally helpful.
Yeah.
And then it becomes a process. And those became the chapters of the book. That's why it took me 20 years to test these things in the field. And the ones that were really standing the test of time, they became a chapter. So it was 20 years.
Wow. There is a journey. What's been the most challenging part of it all for you, do you think?
Oh, entrepreneurship is so challenging in many ways. The first one is when you start, will you have the cash flow? So how much cash do I need on the side? Is it 2 years, 3 years, 1 year? Then the decision, do you take outside cash in or not? We went no, full client funded, never dilute, never let anybody decide about our business. And then, so the next thing is you will be totally lonely in the beginning. Nobody gets it. Look at Tesla. Elon is getting criticized right now. He's an idiot. Look what he's doing. The price is down, right? I am buying this week because I know that good entrepreneurs have roller coaster situations.
Yeah.
I'm a buyer. I'm a buyer at everything he does, because I know exactly how it feels to build something. And in the first years, and he is still in, if you want, even with Tesla, even in early years. So in the first years, it's a roller coaster, and sentiment will change. So the price is changing. The fundamentals are not changing, but the price changes because sentiment changes. So first years, loneliness, nobody gets it. Then come the next problem. Now that you are very public and very mature, now everybody starts to hate you. Competitors try to attack you, etc. Now you have many countries. In each country, different legal situations. So I'm learning now legalese, because in every country we operate, there is something else popping up. And so it will stay very roller coastery, and it's full of challenges, and you will sleep badly in some weeks or not at all in some weeks. And then you will be totally high in other weeks, because it's totally fulfilling, and you decide how you live. You are creating wealth for you every week, but also for a bunch of people and families every week. So that makes you also very happy.
With that roller coaster journey, thank goodness you've got your philosophy background, because I think every entrepreneur should learn the phrase "this too shall pass," because you've touched upon so many challenging times. We've just got to hang on to that roller coaster and get through the bad times, and enjoy the good times, of course, when they come as well, and know that they too shall pass.
And you know what I do in these weeks? Like I have a huge Tesla bag right now that's down 60%.
Right.
I have a huge Bitcoin bag that's down 70%. I have a huge Google bag that's down 40%.
Right.
So how do I live in a situation, right, where my net worth is half of what it is?
Yeah.
What do I do in one of these weeks? I do my daily habit, weekly habit, and monthly habit, like in every other week.
Yeah.
That is maybe the Stoic philosophy that's baked into the strategy sprints method, because the daily habit is, how did I allocate my time today? What will I delegate tomorrow? Delegate to a software or to a person. The weekly habit is, show me the marketing number, sales number, ops number of this week. The monthly is, okay, our strategy on one page, the 3-year vision, the 1-year goals, the quarterly activities, and who's doing what. It's on one page. We go over it once a month. This is what I do in a week that's a bearish week. And what do I do in a bullish week? well, a little bit of selling and rebalancing, but the same thing.
Same
Daily
habits.
habit, weekly habit, monthly habit. So a very bad week, I just keep my practice. A very good week, I also don't think that I'm a genius and I go to the Seychelles for a month. No. I keep doing my practice.
The number three's popped up a lot while you've been talking, I've noticed. On the sales process, we were talking about touching back in with a client or a prospect 3 days later. Then you were talking about a kind of review and possibly letting them go within 3 weeks. And then just there, when you mentioned about a kind of longer term plan, longer term vision, if you like, it was 3 years in advance. Is there a reason for that? Is that just a coincidence?
There is a magic in the number 3.
Yeah.
And it's a very old number, and it's a number that's, for many people, it works. So, in religion, there is the number 3. In everything that you do, there is a number. If I ask you your favorite actors, you will tell me 3 to 5. You will not tell me 9 favorite actors, because our brain has an operating memory that's specifically built for 3 to 5 items.
Right.
And as a simplifier, I pick the simpler. So I pick 3.
Right.
If I ask you, what are your goals of 2023? If you have 7 goals, you cannot even tell me. You will say, Simon, let me get the spreadsheet. I don't accept that. In the strategy sprint method, everything is right now, right here. We don't postpone life. Life is now, or it isn't. Otherwise, or you're just bullshitting yourself. You have a plan. We don't care about plans. So I ask, what are your goals? And because they have 3 goals for the next 3 months, they're pretty simple, and they can tell me, well, my marketing will go up by 12%. Sales, we're gonna introduce an outbound system that works overnight while we sleep. Operations, we want to have 16 client referrals per week. So because it's 3, you have it here right now in your body. And then it's working, because now you are deciding based on it, etc. If it's 7 and you are tired, you can't even remember 7 things.
That's right. Fantastic. I'll tell you, it's amazing the level of detail you went to with this. It really is. It's simplified in areas, yes, absolutely, of course, but with very, very clear thinking of it. The marketing section pops up for me again, because you mentioned it earlier, and you've got some fantastic detail that you drill into within marketing itself. Why do we get it so wrong? Because you touched upon 2 things earlier. I thought, yeah, absolutely, I hear that all the time. One of them was, oh, I just need to spend more on marketing. I just need to spend. But the more I spend, the more I will make, for whatever reason that's there. And then the other part of the puzzle about the social media thing, this insatiable, it's almost like a business owner is this teenager hooked on social media. Right, I need to get another 15,000 posts out, and I need to get 7 million more likes on this video and such a. Why do we have that?
It is built for adrenaline. So social media gets us. I love it. I love being on Instagram. and when I'm there, I was just looking to do one thing, but then I find myself doing yoga on Bali with beautiful people, and 20 minutes later I go, wait a moment, what am I doing here, right? And so it is built to get us. It's one of the people that's on the cover of the book is Nir Eyal, who says that this book is actually very good for you to focus on what matters. Nir, he wrote a book called Hooked, where he described how these things are designed to totally hook us and make us addicted. And then his next book was Indistractable, how you can get rid of this addiction and regain your life and not, give it to Instagram or Facebook or whatever.
Indistractable's a fantastic book. I've got just beside me here, beside the laptop, I've got the little red traffic light sign, so that no one can approach me when that's on. It's such a. And you had him on the podcast, didn't you? You've interviewed Nir.
Yes, multiple times. Nir is amazing. Nir is a really good
thinker. Really is. Brilliant.
and David Allen from GTD were the only people that I had multiple times on the podcast because we had so much to discuss.
Yeah. Yeah, the way that David approaches things, very similar to yourself. That's probably why you bond so much. I think that, let's simplify this section. Let's focus on this section. Let's stop doing that altogether. There's an amazing approach to it, and that philosophy behind everything. It's incredible.
David has this natural planning way of doing that became GTD.
Yeah.
That I really loved. And we helped them with their business, and so they coached us on productivity, and so we learned a lot about natural planning. So how do you plan from the here and now, from real life? So, and that's my same philosophy, right? I don't want to wait for something to happen later. Either it's here or it's not here. If it's not here, I don't need to waste time with it. If it's here, it's working now, so let's do it. And that's, so the principles of that I brought to how you run a business. It became the marketing processes, sales processes, client onboarding processes that we implement.
You mentioned the here and now, the reality of the situation. I liked that part in your book, actually. It was almost as if you were given a bit of a forgiveness to business owners, because you said, listen, wherever you are, start now. Because if someone like yourself has this magic and they come to a business owner and say, look, I've got this thing, it could really help you. A lot of the time, their immediate reaction is, I can't, I'm too overwhelmed. You don't understand. I'm in too much of a mess. I've not got the time. I know you're saying that this might help me, but I just don't have the time to even help myself. It is a common theme, isn't it?
I love it that you got this out of the book because it's between the lines, but it's really important, because many people, they say, oh, Simon, yeah, you have such an amazing thing going on, but I'm so far away. It's too early for me. And this is exactly what's not helpful. There is no right or wrong number. There are only your numbers of this week. And you can only compare them to your numbers of last week and your numbers of next week. That's the only comparison. You cannot compare it to anybody else, because they're not you. So the only comparison is, can we make it 1% better next week, this number? And is it 1% better than last week? These are the only two comparisons that we do in our team. And so when we look at our weekly marketing number, sales number, ops number, sometimes the ops number is low. So the ops number is how many referrals did we get? So people who say, hey, work with the sprints team. Some weeks it's 0, some weeks it's 16, some weeks it's 35. In a 0 week, we don't despair. We look at, okay, is this a longer average? Is this a trend down? Like you would look at a chart of something, or is it just because we were on holidays or whatever? We paused an activity. Oh, we paused that activity. Okay, let's restart that. But really be kind to yourself. It's not about winning every week. Nobody wins every week. It's about just knowing where you are, accepting that, surrendering to that, and taking that to 1% better tomorrow. And what we underestimate is, again, the compound effect. As an investor, you know the compound effect is your friend and is powerful. Because if you just, as an investor, if you just invest $100 in, if you did it over the last 20 years, just $100 in Google every week, you would be a billionaire now. If you do the same thing right now with something that's appreciating, that creates massive compound effects. So let's say you just pick one marketing channel. Let's say you pick LinkedIn, and you do just one poll per week and one hand-raising post per week. So you do 2 posts per week, but every week. And then you add the newsletter when you get going and you have more fun. Now you have a newsletter, a weekly newsletter, 1 poll, 1 hand-raising post, and you follow up on those conversations. That's already an amazing thing to start. It will create maybe 10 conversations in the first week, in the second 15. Of those 15 conversations, you can close 2. And you see how it compounds? Then 1 week later, you close 3.
Yeah.
This is compound effect. You do this for 2 years, you are absolutely unstoppable as a business. You have an organic marketing system now.
That's right.
It can be so simple if you just stick with it and show up every week and follow up on those conversations. Then you drag them over in your CRM and you follow up from there.
Yeah, that's right. And it's the focus that you're giving it. The focus is on that one simple daily or weekly habit. Don't try and focus on that. Don't try and focus on the results. The results will come. That exponential curve will come from the compound effect. But you don't look there. You look here. You do the simple stuff. You do the stoic stuff. We keep getting drawn back to those philosophers.
Yes, it's evergreen principles. Yes.
Yeah. And on that evergreen, so strategy sprints, the method, the book, it's taking you that time to do it. We spoke about, the decades that you've poured into trying it and tweaking it and so on. The format that is now, is that locked in? Do you feel, yeah, that's me, I've got it? Or is there still part of your brain that you're still testing and tweaking and maybe a little refinement? How do you look at it from that aspect?
So we measure all the time. Right. And look for improvements all the time.
Right.
So our clients, in those 90 days, they get asked 3 times. So every 30 days, they get asked, what's working well, what needs improvement, what's missing, what else do you need, but it's not in there. And the last question is, who else needs this? But those four questions really tell us, hey, you need to improve this. So every week we get a ton of information and we go and improve it.
Right.
What happened over a period of time is that after a couple of years, there weren't so many improvement suggestions anymore. And then we knew now it's mature.
Right.
Now it's a good product. And that's when we started scaling it. Because you have basically in business, you have 2 stages. The first one is when you build the product until it's really good. And then the second one, now it is good. Now stop improving the product. Now get out and scale it. That's the stage 2. And usually it's around 35K per month. That's why we have this line in the sand.
Right,
for our
that's
clients.
why you have that there. Okay.
It's not a hard number, but from our experience, it's a line in the sand that's working quite well. Around 35K per month, you have now something that is pretty good. Now you could start for the first time in the history of your business. Now you could start spend something on marketing and even paid ads, because now you have something that's working. Now, the more people you talk to, actually, the more clients you're going to have.
Right.
So now it makes sense to raise the volume.
But it's all about doing it at the right time and in the right phases. That's why you have all these tips and tricks for people. It's tremendous. It really is. The future. Where are we going? Where does strategy sprints go from here on in? What's your 3-year vision, if you like, from this point going forward? Any particular plans and milestones in mind?
We have something wonderful that's happening.
Yeah.
So the program is a one-to-one program, but after the program, many people say, but how can we hang out? How can we stay in touch? Because this thing, I'm still scaling this thing for the next 15 years. Right. I might sell it in between, but then I will start my next one. I'm an entrepreneur. That's what I do, right? I build stuff and I love it. And I hang out with your other people from the program. And so we said, well, let's try a community, right? Why not? Connecting all of them into a community. And so we did that. It's so fun because they are talking about, hey, which CRM do you use? How do you hire an assistant? How do you fire an agency? How do you turn contracts from fixed to performance-based? They are talking about all these things. And even, should I sell Tesla right now or should I buy Tesla? It's split in half, the community this week. So they're talking about everything. And some of them are going through divorce. We are talking about everything and supporting each other on the real life topics of entrepreneurs. And these are the topics, right? And And that's a community now. So I am quite blessed with this community. It's now 40 people, and it's growing week by week. So that's a very nice new thing that came into our life, and that will grow and grow over the next years. So that's something that I'm looking forward to, because I'm not a community builder. I wouldn't even know how to build a community. I'm not building it. It's building itself. It's more people coming in, and we are having fun. But I'm also now looking for community building coaches for myself, so that I learn how to curate this thing, how to be a good host. And so that's a new thing for me, and I'm enjoying it.
That's fantastic. A whole new organism.
Yeah.
Living in front of you. I love it. So, last question for yourself, very personal. An amazing journey. You know, this the hippie that went through all these stages, the philosopher, going into helping so many businesses, refining a product, refining a book, this whole journey that you've been through. What has it taught you about yourself, do you think?
Wow. You know, the beauty of this is that every day, it's like having children. Every moment you have a mirror, and it's telling you something about yourself. So as an entrepreneur, I'm getting humbled every day, and I realize every day where I can be a better listener, a better communicator, a better builder, a better engineer, a better HR person. So every day I'm getting lessons. In my face, I'm getting those lessons, like really loud lessons. And the cool thing is we're learning about it. And that's why I love marketing, because in marketing, every time I write an email, I am given the chance to speak more of my soul, of who I really am. So do I dare to say this? Oh my God, that shouldn't be a business email, right? Can I write this? And then this is the moment where I am growing as a person. I'm finding my true voice, and I'm having more and more courage to say things as I feel them. And so that's the beautiful thing. So both, it comes with uncomfort because you get stuff in your face, but also it comes with this beautiful blossoming and your true voice always coming more out. Like Nietzsche would say, it's becoming. You are not, it's not being, it's becoming who you are.
Yeah.
So that process is actually pretty cool. It's not always comfortable.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool.
And you're obviously enjoying the process. I love it. Absolutely brilliant. Well, folks, make sure you get this book. That's my first tip. The lovely Simon Severino, and it's called Strategy Sprints. So whenever it's safe to do so, go inside the show notes, see all of the links, hook into, you know, Simon's whole team. You know, are you above that line? You know, he mentioned it, the 35 grand a month line. Are you there? Are you one of the flowers in the garden that he can work with? If you're not, if you're one of the weeds, he can't help you just now, but who knows, maybe in the future. But Simon, listen, for your time today, for helping us and speaking to so many people on This Week in Property, thank you very much.
Thank you for doing this, for showing up for this community with consistency, and for bringing so much knowledge and so much inspiration.
Thank you. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's show as much as I did. Remember, with the guests that you just saw, go into the show notes for the page, because all of their links are there so that you can get in touch and to get more information. And talking about getting more information, more guests, more insights, more knowledge, etc., make sure you're subscribed. Get the subscription done, get the notifications on, and then we'll always keep in touch with you every single time a brand new show is going to come out. So thanks for tuning to This Week in Property.